early.
Brian's gonna leave early.
Okay, we're gonna need that.
Kind of a short meeting shaping up anyway, isn't it?
Yeah,
Good luck. Yeah, nice win.
I like it.
maybe we can get it done before Mike shows up. That would be
Yeah,
so.
he's usually kind of fired up by the time.
Yeah, we'll be walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes in and checks all this stuff.
Fired up.
You guys, be quiet, go to bed. I mean, wait a second.
I need the dimension thing that,
Thank you.
remember in your file, you said that you didn't send me the dimensions on that map?
Oh,
Is that difficult? I was reading what you were saying, but we could do it another way too.
Oh, the actual dimensions.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
funny that he's like, yeah, why don't you use those dimensions? I was like, yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's, okay. Now that the meetings are brought to order, sorry, let's start with going over the
The minutes.
minutes from the last meeting. And then we'll quickly move on to, after that, try to go through that pretty quickly, so we can talk to Brian before he leaves about the falls.
What land is this? Jackson Ski Tour Foundation owns land at end of Carter Notch Road. Is that, are we talking about that piece of land that's off of Balloon Road?
No, that was the one that I was supposed to do.
Yeah, it's the downhill side of the parking lot.
What were their names?
Oh,
Those two.
Holcomb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Holcomb and Milliken. Turns out that Ski Touring owns that.
They own
Spin,
it.
and Spiniff
Yeah.
owns the trust. Or the, whatever.
Long one.
That's confusing.
What is the size of that plot? Do you know the size of that plot?
What's that?
Do you know the size of that plot?
No, off the top of my head.
I can't visualize it, where it is between all the Valentines and the Joni White.
I think it's in between the two. There's snowshoe trails essentially around my own land.
Really?
Or not entirely, but
Or no,
I don't know what their
I know
names
those
are.
names are all kind of silly. Waldo's Way. We could try that. Yeah, that sounds some good stuff.
Why they took down that outhouse, that porta potty out there.
Do we want to put in here, easements that have been reviewed for a record or not worry about it? Because I
Oh,
did
from-
Roy Gabriel, but it's not in here.
Okay, yeah, we should
So
do that.
maybe we don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like reviewed the following, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, because I think we've got in here Peppers and Highland
Mhm.
Trust and Tony and Cat River.
I think we talked about yours last month.
Well, we could add it to this
Was
one.
it, that's what I was thinking last month, but it's not in the minutes, that's why I just asked.
Right, last month's minutes. There you go.
Speaking of your trees, did you hear that tree down in, that sequoia fell down?
Yeah.
With a tunnel through it, that,
Oh, that's the General Sherman.
it went today,
Is that right?
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
heavy rain.
Did they know it was gonna fall? I mean, did they?
I don't think so.
I think there was like some heavy rains or something that did it.
Yeah, it's like second day of the
I have a photo of me inside of that, I think.
Inside what?
Inside,
Well, there's this big redwood tree in,
the one with the tunnel carved through it?
well, it's a sequoia,
sequoia.
actually.
So cool.
The tunnel carved through it?
There's,
You must
there's a,
have
there's
seen
a tunnel
pictures
that goes through it, and there's like cars that can go through it, and there's like, everyone takes their
You've never
pictures.
seen a
Oh, but
picture
where
of
is
that?
it?
It's in California.
Jackson.
It's in northern.
That's what I thought they were talking about
It's in
also.
Northern
I was like,
California.
It's the giant sequoia. I know cars drive through. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you seen it? It's
So
up,
what happened?
it's just off Carter Notch
I was
Road.
gonna say, why did I miss that?
It's fell, it's gone.
I've got a lot to say. Cars are going through it.
Well, I mean,
That was always the standard thing.
Jump up and
That was a standard thing. It had a tunnel carved through the middle of this tree.
and for years and years.
You got a tunnel through the middle of the tree eventually, right?
Let's just, they put the tunnel through it in 1885 or something like that. So,
Can I make a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes.
No, we can't. We have to, what,
We have to amend the minutes.
we have to amend the minutes.
Oh, I thought we did.
How would you like,
Just to
what
add
would,
Pam's.
yes, what would you like it to say?
Lori Gabriel, easement review.
Okay. Agreed.
All
Just
five.
add.
Is that Gabriel? Yes.
Any other changes besides adding the one line in that section?
That's kind of as you kind of figured, unfortunately. I thought no news was good news, but
Yeah. It's very interesting.
I know, I saw them there. I was like,
Okay.
Anyone else with changes?
No.
No.
Alright. One motion?
Yes, I make a motion to approve the minutes from December 5th, 2016, as modified with Pam, including that she completed Lori Gabriel's easement review.
Second.
All in favor? Accept minutes as amended. Alright, so first, let's go to Jackson Falls.
Actually, can I share my news that's not on the agenda first as part of the contract?
This-
Oh, and you already know?
yeah, I
Okay.
do know.
Okay, carry on.
Alright,
Thank
Is
you.
this in the wrong order?
I had a good phone call today with Gary Spears from Eastern Greens regarding the falls and the fencing. He's gonna put in a bid. I'm gonna spend some time with him early this week, just to try to iron out some details. But a couple local people who have, say, construction businesses, or they kind of read into the initial estimate in maybe a way we didn't intend them to. So when we first just said, hey, we need to just get a ballpark number just to have a conversation with the selectmen to see how we want to proceed. Well, we're always a month behind, so when they got that information, they felt that we had gone out for bids and someone had put in a bid for the job and they weren't included. And we were simply trying to
Get an
start the
idea.
process so we could at least talk to the selectmen and say, hey, this is what we're thinking. Okay, why don't you guys go ahead and get some numbers? So it kind of shut down some people who'd otherwise
Did you
wanted.
explain to them
Yeah,
what this
oh yeah.
number was?
Yes, so
We would,
I
we would call
explained
that
it.
where the business I used to be in, that's a budget estimate, right?
Yeah.
It's not a
So-
firm bid, it's a budget estimate.
in reading the e-news and the minutes, some people felt that they had been kind of left out and were kind of like,
Bypassed.
so we ironed
So they
that
called
out.
you being irate and everything?
No, it was good. We're on the same page, everybody's happy and,
Okay.
Well, they're still willing to take bids, I guess, right?
yeah, well, yeah, I mean, they thought it was like over, like,
Gotcha.
whatever, you know. So that's the good news, and I just need to get those dimensions and.
Yep, so we theoretically still need to get three and then have a discussion about those three and pick one.
Mhm.
And there's no criteria on
No,
how we
they-
pick, or,
I'll see.
Well, we're gonna write up a request for proposal to be formal about it. Don't you have to give these guys a spec sheet saying, look, here's the work?
So
That's what,
comparing
that's
apples.
what.
Yeah,
he
then
and I
everybody's
talked
bidding
about.
on the same,
We talked about
project.
that, and we never produced really anything for anyone other than a ballpark
Yeah.
of what we wanted. So,
Yeah, at some point, if you're
Unfortunately-
gonna have bids from three people,
Yeah.
you can't get one that says, hey, I can do this for $3,000 and come to find out he's
Right.
putting 2 feet of fence in.
Right.
You know,
yeah, I mean, part of the problem is the way the process is restarted, we'd already kind of had snow on the ground, or
yeah,
and/or had kind of burnt those initial bridges, not knowing that we had kind of burnt some bridges. So the damage control's taken care of, but I
So
know that
it's-
Rotten Rock can
step one-
technically give an estimate. He-
step one is not a firm price bid.
Right.
Step one is how much you think it's gonna cost. I mean, this is the way these things normally go.
Mhm.
And then you may put down some more detail and say, okay, here's exactly, we've polished it up a little bit, you gave me an idea. Now, here it is exactly, give me a firm number.
Right.
And did we figure we had to be X number of feet from the
Yeah.
center
did.
line of the road?
Yeah,
Oh, so I guess we can quickly write it. I mean, well, I can try to quickly write it out loud.
Mhm.
So it would be estimate to put in, we'll put X feet of fencing. I don't know those numbers off,
Right.
but I
Yeah.
can get them. Mark and I measured
Yeah.
it. So the X feet of fencing,
25 feet from the center line of the road or something?
I would just say behind the setback
Setback.
as
Determined
have
by-
by the road agent.
by the town.
So we'd be out of it.
that's good.
And it's in 1, 2, 3, 4 discrete sections. We talked about
Yeah.
the main parking
Mhm.
lot and then from the handicap spot, kind of up to the drainage ditch.
Mhm.
The little section from the Green Bridge back. And that section is special, and that the middle post needs to be removable for snow plowing. All the
Mhm.
other posts can stay forever.
Mhm.
And
So
then,
just leave that.
yep. And then the fourth section would be from the upper entrance of the falls to the rock staircase
Right.
to keep people from going
Mhm.
down the steep embankment to the left.
Mhm.
So I guess the estimate would be to put in, those 4 sections of X feet of
Right.
2 rail, split rail fence, and the one has the removable
Mhm.
post.
So the last portion you're talking about was where again?
Where that new staircase is.
The upper falls
AMC
and staircase.
Oh,
Staircase.
you want to actually put a fence?
Essentially, yeah.
Railing to go down that?
Yeah,
Oh, I
we've been
didn't know
talking
that.
about, so when you
Just-
turn the corner and head towards the staircase,
Right,
we had kind of had string in between the pine trees there.
Yeah.
I think they're pines, I'm not, well, whatever they
yeah,
are.
so you want to put a fence there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Where we've traditionally, okay, so it's
Yeah.
not necessarily a railing, it's at the top, I see.
it's at the top, so
Okay.
keep people from going down
That
that
makes
steep
sense.
embankment and force them to go down
Yeah.
the rock staircase.
Okay.
Channel the traffic.
And then, is it a cedar product, red oak, pressure treated?
Yeah,
We bounce that around. I mean, if you use cedar, which is sort of, traditional option, 5 to 6 years for the posts.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought longer than that.
I would have.
Yeah,
Well, our intent is to.
Yeah, I mean,
effective.
our intent was to be temporary,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
I'll make it cedar.
yeah, and the limited guidance we've gotten from the selectmen, we get to see a traditional product there,
Yeah,
which would either be, well, I don't know if you can get split oak,
you
but
can get split pressure treated too. I mean, you could use posts that are pressure treated and.
I like the looks of the cedar
Yeah,
myself.
That's the Conservation Commission on that.
yeah, I mean, cedar's
Yeah.
cedar's
Treated,
nicer.
sorry.
Yeah, let's go with the cedar.
great. All right,
Is
anything
that-
else we should add to that? That would help.
No, I mean, we didn't really say
There's
anything
no-
beyond that.
There's nothing else in the scope of work.
Should we give
other
them
than-
like a little plan so they can see?
Well, we have the sort of
Like
plan.
a rough sketch, kind of like that.
Okay.
If you remember the sketch I made with the path, when we were kind of like picking
Close,
just
figure.
one path, we had added the fence sections to it.
Just highlighted the
Okay.
regions that have.
Yeah, if you want to be serious about it, then come out and look at it too.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going there with Gary.
Yeah,
So we probably, I guess, so the preliminary budget hearing is this Thursday, so we could we could go with our budget estimate, which was the word you're using for
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
And we can go high with it, is kind of the guidance I've also been given.
yeah,
Um,
that's the way you do it.
And then it has to be finalized by I believe, February 7th. I think our next meeting before that, but we could also have a special meeting before, at the end of this month, to kind of basically go over the estimates and pick one and have a final number. And in general, we don't need to have, we will get, assuming everything goes correctly, we will get the amount that the final bill is, not the estimate, out of the trust.
Right.
When it comes, but we need to have the town budget high.
One of the questions, and I think I answered it correctly though, was, let's just say we had the money in hand. This isn't an item that we have to vote with the town to pass the fence. The fence is, I explained that, we had the soil scientist come over, he created a plan, the town adopted the plan, so technically we're
just
going
working
through the
with-
plan
yeah.
as the town accepted.
Yeah.
So he was just like, so does the town have to vote on the fence? I said, not if, technically, if we had the money, no. What we're going for is
The
money.
selectmen
The
have
trust fund.
given us, like, they've bought into the fence idea.
Right.
I think the town does have to vote to move the money out of the trust because the town
Correct.
has adopted
That's it.
what used to be a
That's-
third-party trust.
That's all I,
That's-
so I just said,
Yeah.
no, you don't have to
Yep.
we don't have to vote for the fence, because he was like, before we start getting into this, the town people are gonna pass the fence? I said, that's already been, they accepted the plan, and accepting the plan, they sort of accepted the fence. The
Yes.
selectmen are behind it, so, like I said, if we had the money, we wouldn't even be, I wouldn't need to
Yeah,
do this.
it's just one of those, you see all sorts of those warrant articles written like that, to approve withdrawing blah, blah, blah from blah, blah, blah trust.
Did the plan explicitly mention a fence though?
No, but in our discussions with Bob
Well,
over the
that's,
summer,
yeah, but the original plan,
he has given us, like, he as the selectmen's representative, and I could double check, but.
Well, yeah, reading into controlling the erosion and the.
Well, controlling the
Inability
erosion,
to-
channeling the traffic, I think is.
yeah, I mean, like,
you
it's
know.
a means
Yeah.
to those
Yeah.
ends. I get that.
That's how I didn't get into tons of detail.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we're done.
Specific fence, but I like.
All right, changing the guard, you can take my spot. I gotta breathe.
Okay. What'd I miss?
Fencing at the falls.
Fencing, yeah, fencing.
Fences walls.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
we can
Okay.
write this back, get that to you, I mean, we can get.
Yeah, I-
Try to get a couple,
We,
and then,
he was basically like, if this needs to happen immediately, we can do it. And I can talk with Chris as well,
okay,
who would be our third.
okay.
Who's our one?
Oh, we're trying to get, the town encouraged us to get 3 bids on the fence and then pick however we want to.
That should be
from those 3.
mandatory as far as I'm concerned, for anything that the town, you can pick a limit, anything over $5,000.
Right.
Yeah.
3 bids, no questions asked, you have to do that.
I just realized that one of them has a son in Ollie's class. Roddenrock?
What's his last name?
Crane.
His friend, Torrin?
Todd Crane.
Yeah.
I
Torrin.
have a pair of skis for you that I forgot to bring up.
Oh,
Little cross-country skis.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Mom.
On the same note of the fence, did anyone, I sent out our very slightly revised version of what we looked at last month, which was the letter that's gonna go to the trustees describing what we're doing.
Yeah,
Anyone have any comments? I didn't see any emails back.
no.
My
Okay.
comments were spelling, that I can give you, just
Okay.
typos.
Great.
And then at the end,
Me
I
spelled good.
sort of thought that the part where you explain the fence needs just a little bit of up to explicitly state why we're putting in the fence, more than you did.
Okay.
Which you could probably, I think,
Just a
get some of the
little bit.
words out of that report that was written, the plan for the falls. aren't
Oh,
there?
from Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't specifically mention a fence, I don't think, but he
Yeah.
talks about getting the traffic focused through a few areas,
Yeah,
and that,
All
but
right.
otherwise I thought it was really good.
There was one grammatical thing that I was confused about, and it said, is it the falls is viewed or the falls are viewed?
I would say are, is the way I would normally say it
I think it
myself.
says is in there.
All right.
The falls
I often
is
mix up
viewed.
my-
Question was the definition of
I'm
it.
sorry to bring that
Singular
up because the
plurals,
fact is
no.
I'm the worst grammatical
No,
person
no,
of all
that's-
times.
Depends
But
on what the definition of
You mean the
is.
cows is not in the field?
The cows be not in the field, see, that's an easy way to do it.
What is the mallet plaque?
Oh, I have that question too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so seedlings, I think we can table until next month, but I guess it'd be,
I brought the list of what we got last
Okay.
year in case we wanted it.
okay.
And the other thing too, I was just gonna mention about that is maybe we could consider possibly seeding in some of that, there's a lot of bark mulch down there at the lower end of the falls, and maybe we could reclaim some of that with some, a little bit of loam and grass seed and some seedlings, and it's down at a second picnic table.
Sure.
There's just a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
wood chips down there.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do something.
And I forgot, we got the,
Yeah.
I don't know where it ended up. I thought I left it in the mailbox from last month. We got the, oh, maybe it's in my bag, but we'd gotten the letter about the seedlings. I just forgot, I think March is the order deadline. So I think we can do it.
Right.
It'd be kind of interesting just to take an inventory in the spring of actually what survived. Like what we can,
The
what
problem
we,
is that we have to order it before,
well, I'm sure we could order, what was it 100 last year? Something like that?
yeah,
They did very well, except for the ones in the.
85.
85?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could probably order another 85, but I was just curious how many we think survived.
Yeah, well, and which species too
Right.
are doing better.
I found that in the bootleg paths, a lot of those died because they got stomped on.
There's
So
a
it's
fence
hard
on it.
to
Mhm.
put little things in these little
Right,
paths.
of course.
Yeah, here's the order form.
The earlier you order, the better selection you have, I always say that.
Mhm.
But February is probably
I mean, we
fine.
could,
Well, we could decide to get exactly what we got last year
sure. I don't know that.
and just get it in if you think earlier is better.
And if there's a type of woodland conservation mix, any type of grasses or sedges that go along
Yeah.
the falls,
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yes, we could go in order, and then we've never, as the report kind of encouraged us to do, was to spread basically loam and wood chips everywhere.
Mm.
And then, because the two issues we had were A, buying the loam, and we never wanted to buy all the loam, so I remember it, and B, then we'd be putting wood chips everywhere, not just the path. And one technique that I've seen in that case is to mix crushed stone in with the wood chips for the path so that it's a little visually different. The crushed stone tends to stay put.
I don't like the looks of all wood chips either.
Yeah. But
That's what I was thinking, with the loam part of it, seed it and put the seedlings in it, you'd actually create islands that maybe you
Yeah.
could, like,
Yeah.
you could connect and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I think that's, to me, one of the, beyond keeping the people on their paths and having the fences to push them
Maybe we
there.
could start an Adopt an Island campaign.
Yes, we had people come down.
Hmm.
I like it.
Take little plots of land and
Yes.
adopt them.
Yes.
That is good. That is good.
All right, so you want to order the seedlings? Want to pick them?
Well,
We could.
I
Do you
just
guys
have the
wanna-
list of what we got last year.
Yeah, just-
Did you see, I didn't quickly see an order by date.
Not accepted after March 31st, is what I just saw.
So, I mean, you can wait till
Yeah.
February if you want, that's fine too.
All right. Yeah, let's wait till next meeting to pick them. And then we'll think about the loam, because I think, and we could all go and reread that, the soil report, but basically covering all routes everywhere was one of the recommendations
Yes.
that we've never really followed through on entirely. We've tried to do it by letting it build up over time, by not having people walk there.
Well, there's a good base of wood chips, so maybe that will actually hold the loam,
Yeah.
And I was thinking that if we started out in second, but you said we could actually drive a truck in and drop them.
Yeah. All right. So that's February.
Did we get to the mallet plaque yet?
No.
We didn't get
That
that.
is, sorry, I forgot to print out the email that I got from Julie. Basically, the family that donated the land for the falls has contacted the town to want a plaque
Wow.
recognizing their donation, is my memory of the email. And it was, I believe there's now 3 generations, so the grandparent generation of, I don't know who it was that contacted the town either, but it sounds like the grandparents and the grandchildren are involved in this discussion, but the grandparents donated the land and the grandchildren think that the family ought to be recognized. It's kind of the,
that's good.
I think was the drift of the email. And so would we want to put a plaque or would we be opposed and work with them and all that?
Who would be paying for it?
Mm-hmm.
uh,
What's-
For the-
I don't know. These are.
Probably the trust.
like the idea of the rock, the rock plaques that they did like up on Hall's Ledge.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think that's kind of cool. That's kind of natural.
Yeah.
How far does that date back when they donated the land?
I don't know. And I hadn't looked into, but I had always assumed that it was the Wentworth family that had donated, or whatever the family name.
Yeah, the Mounts on the
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably,
Mm.
yeah, that makes sense. So that is what that is. Basically, do we have any strong objection to a plaque, and, how would we like to guide it along?
No, as long as you do, I think,
I like the rock.
yeah, I like the rock
Yeah,
too.
big rock too.
Yeah.
Just kind of, so it's natural.
Mm-hmm. Put it where we don't want people to go also.
Yeah,
Oh, double duty, yeah.
yeah.
So is that, I forget, is the one up at Prospect, is it engraved into the rock, or is there a brass?
Has a metal,
plaque?
has a bronze thing attached
Yeah.
to
Now
it.
it's
Inserted, yeah,
on
okay.
it.
All right. Any ideas on location? That seems like a good,
I think what you're saying, which is, probably up along Carter Notch Road, right?
On the upper end, somewhere.
Or any place we want to, like you
Yeah.
said, block off of.
It could eliminate some parking.
yeah.
But we can't block where they're gonna put the
I mean,
porta
they're
potty.
probably gonna want it in a scenic,
Yeah.
well, visible spot.
I would imagine.
Yeah,
If it wasn't on a rock, it would be cool if it was on a little pedestrian bridge. You could stand on a pedestrian bridge.
Oh, on the Green Bridge?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like,
That's a good
you could
idea.
even put it like, of course the sidewalk's closed off right now, but you're right, you could have a little
Pedestrian
plaque right in the
bridge.
middle, so when you look down.
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
cars
That's a
go
nice
across
idea.
there.
I like that too.
That's not a pedestrian bridge.
them back with our ideas?
Yeah.
We're keeping you up.
Sorry.
But we
Yes,
can only
you are.
choose one or the other, we can't have both,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Um,
Only one plaque.
I would imagine they would, well, I don't know who owns the Iron Bridge, if we or the state owns it, how that all works. But anyway,
So then the question is, will it be illuminated?
they would need
We
electricity
would
for
say
that.
no.
I'm just, hey, these questions are gonna come up, you know they are.
I don't
All
think
right.
so.
So,
I don't think
there's
anybody
anything
would
else for the
ask.
falls.
Except you.
What are any of these things we got? Nope. So I'll go back to the beginning now that we skipped ahead to the falls, so Brian can leave. Conservation easements, everyone has done their monitoring reports, I've checked, they're all in.
No public
So
comment.
we can start the 2017 ones right away, get them done. And you literally, we could do anytime during 2017,
Right.
you can go out and
Yeah,
go to
but
the SPNF site.
Presumably, if you do it right now, they could do something in like July
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
miss
Yes,
it.
yes. But I mean the same for, anyway, I'm just encouraging.
Right, okay, just
So,
saying.
so we don't do them all next December. Prospect Farm, interpretive, well here,
Yes.
sorry.
I have some thoughts.
All right, I actually was gonna, before we get into those, because I see you prepared a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
I was gonna quickly go through the mail that we had this week, and just
Yeah.
let everyone know what we got. So Spinnefy mailed us, and we're done there. We have our copy to file of the dredge and fill application for the 16A bridge right over by yesterday's,
Mm-hmm.
where they're fixing up that bridge,
The
basically.
abutments.
The stone
Which we've talked-
bridge,
Yeah,
yeah.
which we've talked about a bunch.
The
And,
stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
so it looks like everything's all set for them to do the work.
I'm sorry, Tom, which bridge is that?
The stone bridge and,
Next to the old library.
Yeah.
yeah,
To,
the old library.
No, it's the other,
By Switchback and the
Wait a minute.
Jackson
That's,
Farmers.
Yes.
those are, it's not really a stone bridge, it's basically concrete abutments that they're
Yes.
repairing
yeah.
on either side.
so.
That was the
So it's
wetlands
next to
permit
the
that we
switch-
approved.
That's
right?
correct,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Bottom of the switchback, is that? what
Yes.
you're talking
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. the
Right
state
near,
has to
right
do
near
some
Badger,
work to-
Badger
Okay.
Realty.
to repair.
about? Right,
Okay.
that Badger Realty.
I know where you mean, because I drive by it every day.
And we've gotten a copy of the master plan for Jackson,
Hmm.
which I imagine we should all read and see how conservation plays into the role for the master plan.
Yeah.
How we can help
Who put that together?
I just
from the
think
planning
that's-
board.
That's probably what it says.
Yes,
Conservation.
so that's something that we could use as we bring plans forth in the future to be like, as written in the master
Right.
plan, blah, 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 blah. So I think it would be good for us all to
Okay.
read it and get familiar. Okay, so on to Prospect Farm.
Oh,
Can
wait. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna, I don't know if this is even relevant, but I was just curious what happened with the DES and the
Yes.
Black Mountain stuff.
So I called John Kuchera and spoke with him first, and he said that their last meeting was in August or September, he couldn't remember. And that at that point in time, he basically was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do what I wanna do. So and then he told me that he's been grandfathered in since 1957, and has been sandbagging. He spent 50 grand every time he comes up with a plan. They say wider, he says skinnier. They say fatter, then they say narrower. So he was like, we put the sandbags in, and that's just the way it's happening. We're waiting to hear back on a plan. They had a new plan to move, to relocate the pond intake so that it would also work for the fire department to have better access to the water in the pond. So after I talked to him, I called Jeff Blacharsik, however you say his name, at DES. He didn't know that they had started sandbagging already, which I felt a little bad. I wasn't trying to tattle. But he said that they're all waiting on a plan from Burr Phillips that is supposed to be somehow better. But he was like, they're not grandfathered in. There was no snowmaking in 1957, so there was no need for
Sorry about that.
sandbagging. And that's where we left it. I think I last talked to Jeff before Christmas, and I haven't heard anything since. So that's that.
Seems like status quo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they're trying to finalize the plan and then proceed with the next steps.
I guess we could offer support to like help find a good solution and encourage them to take the sandbags out prior to melt out.
Well, and Jeff was like, I don't want to put them out of business. Like, we got to find something that works for everybody. So,
We'll let Mother
That's all
Nature
I'm doing.
put them out of business.
well, what?
Let Mother Nature put them out of business.
She will.
It's not gonna change. It's gonna happen.
Sad,
It's all
depressing.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
20 years from now, go and try and ski there.
yeah. I know.
I had a quick thing. I also realized I had a couple of things I was supposed to follow up on here. And I can't remember if I said this or not, but it goes back to the easements about the trails at
Yeah.
Tin Mountain. Did I talk about this? Where did I talk
Yes.
about this?
Yes.
And I couldn't
Okay.
find where you were talking about.
It's the main trail.
But did I tell you that I can't remember if have I come back and told you what I found out?
No.
You
Okay.
emailed us right after the
Yes.
meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember what I've said and what I haven't said, but essentially the main thing is that trail, the one that there's the two trails we're worried about, the one that goes to Middle Mountain and the one that goes up to
Tyrell Park.
Tyrell Parking. The one that goes up to Tyrell is almost entirely on private land. I looked at the boundary maps for Tin Mountain and their property line ends like, I don't know, 50 yards
Oh, no, it's much further.
past that trail. Really, Dick and I looked at that map and it looked like it wasn't very far at all.
Have you been on there? 'Cause
No, I haven't. So it's possible that the sign is in the wrong location too, because on the
it's
property
more than
map,
50 yards, I'll
Okay.
say that.
100 yards, 200 yards?
Further than that, I'm just trying to think, it's
Okay.
hard to say how far it is.
It's possible that
It
it's
isn't far. you're
it's
right.
possible that either the map is wrong or the signs are placed
I will
incorrectly.
say that trail's been there a lot longer than 20 years.
Yeah, so they said that essentially we need to talk to because it runs through all that private property, we need to find out exactly whose property it is because it probably runs through lots of people's property. So that was like the next step. That was need to be taken by someone at Tin Mountain that's not me, someone like higher, the next step up. Everyone at Tin Mountain's in agreement that they're not going to get rid of any trails, but they just need to make sure that all these private landowners know that there are trails there. The Middle Mountain one also doesn't run on Tin Mountain property it runs on Tin Mountain property for a while, and then towards the end of it, it switches over. And we have, and again, I'm not the one that can contact somebody, but at some point our facilities manager is going to contact that landowner and talk to them. And then I went down to Jackson Ski Touring and talked to them because they distribute the map and told people. And basically the word is, don't park at Middle Mountain. Please don't tell people to park at Middle Mountain. Please don't tell people to park at Tyrell if people live in town and you know those folks.
Well, Tyrell says no trespassing.
Yeah, don't park in those areas. But it's labeled, the Middle Mountain is labeled as parking on the map.
And it says no trespassing on the sign.
Yeah.
To the
So and they didn't know down here, so I told them, don't send people to Middle Mountain, don't send people to the upper area at the field station, park only at the lower parking lot at the field station. So if anyone asks you, I want to go to Tin Mountain and hike those snowshoe trails, tell them there's parking when we first pull in, immediately to the right. And that's where they should park. They shouldn't park any farther up because there are people that are living up there. and they shouldn't park at Middle Mountain because we haven't talked to that landowner. And then I went over to the Chamber of Commerce to talk to them, and I went there 4 times and no one was there. Decided to be in business hours, and I called 3 times and no one ever answered the phone. And that was in the span of like 2 weeks, and then I just gave up and decided I didn't care anymore. So if someone knows how to call the Chamber of Commerce better than I do, besides like phone calls and
I
stopping by.
actually did reach them, strangely. I've had the
Did
similar
you?
experience, yeah, but I
Yeah.
got them to send me their write-up of all the hikes. I just accidentally printed it really tiny today.
Those are the short
But I'm
ones.
looking to see
Just
if
pack your
Tin Mountain's
glasses.
on their description, but I don't think it is.
Someone told me that Jackson Ski Touring told me that they had the map there and they handed it out to people. So that's why
Okay.
that they have the actual
Like
map.
the
And the problem is that the map that we're handing out is incorrect. Anyway.
Except the trails have been there more than 20 years. So,
Yeah.
you can by prescription.
Yeah. And then I also talked to them about the trail signs for Prospect Farm, but maybe that's coming up next.
You can be part of Prospect Farm.
Yeah,
You want to start off with? Well, I can start off with the trail signs.
yeah,
and
go
follow
for
up
it
on
ahead,
that.
Mike.
It just really quickly, I talked to them and just said, hey, we're interested in consolidating as much of the trail signs as we can. We said we talked about it would be nice if we could have one style of, and I started with like, would you be interested in having one style of sign versus having multiple different styles of signs? Would you be interested in like consolidating them all to one place? And they essentially said that they weren't sure about having the same style of sign. They like their style of sign, and that's what they kind of want. It's understandable. And they have been working on consolidating signs. And I noticed just the other day when I was up there, it looks like, I don't know if they've already started doing that, but
They did.
like at the Quail Trail, there used to be like 3 signs there, and now there's just 1 on a post.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't.
It's down low too, right?
Yeah.
It used to be up on the tree.
It used to be up on the tree, and now it's like a post
Yeah.
at the you go up and it's on like that side.
Yeah,
So they said, yes, we absolutely agree. We don't like the way it looks when there's signs everywhere. We're going to try and get everything on one sign
cool.
at various locations. And I don't know if they then started doing it or if they'd already been doing it.
They'd
But
already been doing it. I
Yeah.
talked to both. I emailed with Bree and ran into Karen, the
Mhm.
ski patrol director who does that stuff for them. And they both worked at the Forest Service. And it's basically our recommendations that we talked about 2 meetings ago is what I sent to Bree, which is
Yeah.
what you had spoken to her about. And it's basically like the cliff notes of how the National Forest Trail signs work, where it's
Yeah.
like, don't have them all, what you just said.
Yeah.
Consolidate it on a post, like limit things to as concise as you can.
and that's what it's starting to look like up there. That's
Yeah.
what I've already
Great.
noticed. So,
So
yeah.
they had
Yeah.
gone out all over
I've been up
town.
there.
They've done this. They went out before the snow fell and put up
Yeah.
posts and put the signs in. And the thing that we had, our recommended, like sign recommendations from 2 months ago, we had kind of allowed Jackson to, the way we had discussed it was that our town signs would look different than their cross-country ones. We would just want them to eventually all be uniform, because they've had 20 years of trail signs and they've gotten better at making them over time.
Mhm.
And the new ones are all in their current style with the brown or the yellow letters,
Yeah.
and it's got the, blue circle or whatever, green, hardness.
Yep,
And when it's got the dog paw or not.
Yeah.
difficult.
Yes.
Hardness. Like a rock will. That's icy skiing.
So it seems like we're all on the same page and
Yeah.
already doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's great. And we have, by the spring, we'll have the signs made that we talked about also, the wooden signs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we can put those up in the spring. And I talked to Karen when I saw her, and she said it'd be fine by her if we used our posts
That's
to
great.
put our town
Super.
signs up,
Yeah.
so that everything is
Uniform.
on those one spot.
Okay.
And then I want to go up there and move into all the different trees.
One over here, one over there.
Okay, signs, do you have them there?
Yes, you want to pass?
All right, here's the situation.
Which one do you want?
The interpretive signs. Yeah, everybody take one. So I went back to the ones that Mike and George and I put together and tried to rewrite them with the theme of agricultural abandonment. And we have chosen some spots,
Thank you.
like where we picked to put the signs at Hall's Ledge and the field outlook are beyond, like it's more than just agricultural abandonment. So I added in a little bit more history. I mean, the apple orchard one in particular is quite lengthy. I'm not a concise person, so I'm open to any cuts.
That'd be a lot on
But
its
my
own.
thought is that it could be more about human influences on the landscape and not strictly agricultural, to broaden it and open it up a little bit, if we still want to put signs at those places. Otherwise, let's not put signs at the Field Outlook or at Hall's Ledge and just focus on the agricultural clues that are still up there. In which case, we need to pick new spots.
Okay, so these are we're still thinking the 8x8 signs.
Yeah,
And right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
that's it.
4 that we decided we wanted to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
up to this point, that's all that we have decided on.
Okay. And where is the Johnson Cellar Hole?
It's the one at the orchard.
Aren't there a bunch of them at the orchard?
I thought it was the one right at the top, like right on the edge
Oh.
by the bench. Just that whole
Mhm.
area, I think, was the Johnson homestead. That might not be
Okay.
true,
Nope.
but that was my.
Sounds good. It would have been interesting to see what happened to the Johnson family.
I know.
Sold it, but what happened?
I know. Maybe why did they sell it?
They go west.
Yeah. Don't know. Also, while you're reading, I'll pass these out because I rewrote directions for having it to Hall's Ledge.
And this is for what
This-
purpose?
This is to go in the Chamber
This
of
is for the Chamber of
Commerce.
Commerce.
Yeah. The one that they give to the hotels and inns that people try to follow. And I'll pass around the other one so you can read what it currently says.
All right. Does anyone have comments? I don't know if everyone's read through the 4 signs.
I think it'd be fun for families with kids and that sort of thing. to read and
Yeah.
Point things out.
So I guess my first question for the group is, do we want to stick with 4? And are these 4 that we want to stick with? As far as, are these all the same?
Yeah, the little ones are the same.
We'll just have Margaret write more and then we can choose.
Now, is this gonna be the final draft of this thing, or are we correcting the
I
grammar
mean,
and
yeah,
all that
please,
stuff?
well,
I
Or
guess,
do you wanna wait and send it
I
out?
think if we're determining that we're gonna actually
do this.
do
yeah.
the 4 of them.
Well, I get, yeah, so
Well, because we talked about
Mhm.
minimizing it so
Mhm.
that it wouldn't just turn into trash
Mhm.
up there
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah,
Because it's already less, because originally we had like 6 or 7. right?
Yeah.
yeah. So that's my first question, is 4 okay? You know, because originally, George, we had talked about all of the cellar holes at least having a label. And not maybe like this level of like so-and-so lived there for such and
Well,
such time.
This was what George gave me, which leads, and I can email him to double check, but I think that this is the only family that he was able to find like more information about.
Yeah.
So we could put, I mean, all the cellar holes are labeled on the map in the kiosk up there.
Mhm.
So we could put labels on each one that doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily have the family history, and then just have the Johnson cellar hole be the only one that's expanded upon.
I like that idea. And I think in particular, the family that donated the land, their cellar hole, we should probably label.
Is that Baker? Is that?
The Bakers, yeah.
Did they have a site?
I think it's one of the ones
There's-
on the hubs or the other with those.
Yeah, there's one that's labeled Baker's, whether or not it in fact is that one, I don't know. Okay, so names on the cellar rolls, that one, and then, I mean, I'm not attached to these, but I do think that if we're just gonna talk about the history of agricultural abandonment, the views are not necessarily
Well, I think it wasn't necessarily.
relevant.
Well, I think this is great,
Mhm.
and I think it's very great. And I don't know that it was just agriculture abandonment, but I think it was, you know, reading the forested landscape of New England very broadly. You
Yeah.
know, and being like, there were trees, people came and farmed the trees and had sheep, and then they left, and now there's more trees.
I know apple trees.
Yeah.
I have planted a few apple trees.
Yeah.
I take the exclamation point out.
Of apple trees?
Welcome to Hall's Ledge.
Oh,
Or you could put like an
I think
exclamation
you
point with a
just put
smiley
welcome
face
to Hall's
underneath it.
Ledge.
we could what?
Exclamation point with a smiley face underneath it.
And then also, if we do stick with just like the human impact on the landscape, we could add to Hall's Ledge something about the towers on Mount Washington, weather observatory, or, I mean, I don't know.
That's probably not necessary, really. I mean,
Okay,
if
I
you,
just think they're fun things for the kids, if you're going up there with kids, to say, hey, you know. look
There's
at
the
towers,
observatory.
see the towers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that would be fun with kids.
Mm-hmm.
The Mount Washington Observatory.
Or
That's
even
not
an adult,
mentioned.
I hope we need something like that and start looking for it.
Yeah.
So,
I like that these four are all on the way to Hall's Ledge,
Mhm.
which
Yep.
is the thing that we hear people do the most. So like the
Yeah.
apple orchard one could even have visible from the corner. You
Yep.
know, and then the Johnson cellar hole one could be in at the cellar hole a little
Mhm.
bit more, and then the other two would be on the way up. I mean, the Baker Rock kind of functions as another one all by itself
Mhm.
on the way up.
Yeah.
So there's really 5 things of interest on the hike
Yep.
then.
Yep.
Great.
And we really don't need those exclamation points. They really make it look like
There's
hamburgers.
a couple things we could.
They really do.
I like the exclamation points. I like it.
There's a couple things we could cut out.
Gee.
And maybe we'll-
Yippee!
Yeah.
Energy and
Like
Maybe a
Mark
little
said,
smaller, so
smiley-
not so much on the sign.
maybe a smiley
Yeah.
face ought to be
here,
added too.
use my copy and just take a pen and do it.
Yeah.
The only thing that I was thinking about this earlier, which kind of maybe was reflected in my comments at the last meeting, with that I'd like most 95% of all interpretive signed trails are flat and a half-mile long, because the only people that really like to go on interpretive trails are elderly people and people with people with little kids, and the Hall's Ledge Trail doesn't necessarily hit those parameters. I don't know if a lot of elderly people or people with little kids hike that trail. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't go up there, but I'm just kind of thinking a little bit about when you go to,
How much use are they actually gonna get?
are they going to get?
They're gonna be red.
Are they going to be red? And I'm just playing devil's advocate here, right? So not necessarily saying we shouldn't do this, but just maybe thinking a little bit. Because I mean, I think about all right, where does the Forest Service put interpretive signs? Like in the White Mountain National Forest. Well, they put them in a place like Glen Ellis Falls.
Yeah.
Or they put them
That's true.
the Rocky Gorge. What's on the Kank? They put them there. Places where you're walking essentially. Most are like ADA. Most are you're walking like a quarter to a half mile.
With a willy slide.
So is it
Yeah.
worth the investment?
Yeah. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I'm just
No, that's
Just
a good
throwing
question.
that-
Yeah,
throwing
I
that
mean,
out there.
because
that's a
it
good
is
question.
like a hiking trail. It would be like
Yeah.
if there were signs going
I-
up.
I think
I don't know about that. I think in this town, there's definitely a place for this. I mean, perhaps maybe we would think that it would be a higher caliber that might get up there.
yeah.
I would read the
Hardier stock.
But that's, that's
Yeah.
just
I mean, I would definitely read the signs too.
Yeah.
That's my. Yeah.
It's my inclination.
What were you gonna say, Tom?
I think, well, particularly the apple orchard one, I like the idea of having a sign because we spend $1,600 a year as a town to mow it. So I think it's worth being we think this is important.
And that's a spot that a lot of people go to.
That's
Because
probably
a lot
the
of
most
people
common
walk
one.
that. I think the most common route that people walk
Yeah.
is up to the orchard and then down that long
Definitely,
road and then
definitely.
dead ends and then they turn around and then they walk back to the orchard and walk back down.
But
'Cause that's what I see
some
people
of
do.
them are trying to find Hall's Ledge
That's
and
true.
they think that it's down that logging road.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so I would like to keep these 4.
I agree.
And maybe shrink them to be as concise as possible.
Okay, great.
And even when my kids were in kindergarten and second grade and fifth grade, we always went up there with the Jackson School, and I think it's great.
Okay.
So I don't know, do we want to take these home? What's the best way to proofread together as a group? Or is,
If people want it, well, Mike's doing it on my copy right now, otherwise people
There's
want
just
to
one
email
spelling
me.
thing.
I'll email.
I see.
Okay.
Can tell you to take your exclamation points out again.
Do people want the exclamation points gone?
Yes.
Besides you, we know.
I think it makes it
The ones at the
look very
Jackson, the
unprofessional.
ones at the Jackson Falls, it says, "Welcome to Jackson Falls." Are there any exclamation points there?
No,
No.
but that's the heading.
It is the
It
heading.
makes it look
I think,
unprofessional, I think.
I don't really care.
It's just like, you know, the AMC in Pinkham Notch. Be careful of the weather, it can be bad, exclamation point. You know, it looks,
Well, it's true. It's an emphatic
Well, you-
statement. It can be bad.
yeah, but that really makes it look amateurish, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I think you could just get rid of the whole sentence.
Okay.
Really what?
The welcome to Hall's Ledge sentence. It could just be like Hall's Ledge, while the ledge itself is.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You might
Okay.
have to take out this part right here, and then you'd have,
And I would do the same thing on the Johnson
Yeah, and
Homestead.
that's what
There's one
basically-
spelling error
I think we could take it
right
to
I
the
got the same
middle.
section that Pam did. Okay.
And-
I like it, but it's, you know.
No, she spelled it
So it's on the
correctly.
sign.
And we were,
No, it's TT.
TT.
we were kind of saying,
Okay.
taking out these middle sentences.
While
Yeah,
we're
and you
doing
don't
this.
need to even have the welcome there either.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, just in case they don't make it to the Johnson one, but we could keep that.
You could just say this is the,
You
Yep.
can see.
instead of welcome to, I suppose you could do it either way, but I'd
It's
take
really
the exclamation
tiny.
point out of
Yeah.
there. And Mark just pointed out a spelling error. You misspelled it, Barbara.
What did I misspell?
Oh, yeah.
Mark found it.
What?
I'm the
It,
apple
you
orchard.
misspelled it.
Just me.
Oh, okay.
IT,
How did I spell it?
TT.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those things that you just go so fast.
So
and-
also read this while we're reading, because I rewrote the directions for how to get to Hall's Ledge. And Pam just is passing around what the Chamber of Commerce currently distributes, the tiny one with the star next to it.
It's a fine. It's a really fine trail.
It's going on Donald Trump. It's really a fine trail.
On the Hall's Ledge description, I'm just curious, is the 3/4 of a mile just sort of an estimate?
Yeah, and that's the same with the blank at blank
Gotcha.
miles, because I just don't know.
Mhm.
And maybe I could just look at a web.
Yeah, or I wonder if Jackson Ski Touring has a wheel. Could just,
It's, sorry, what were you going?
oh, just
Oh,
not that people would really, you know, if it was
Yeah.
5/8 of a mile or 3/4, people wouldn't really.
they have it really well spelled out in the White Mountain Guide.
So we could just copy that one?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And they give it in the opposite direction only in the White Mountain Guide, from Route 16 to up and over, down to the Prospect
Yeah.
parking lot. But they go through and it start, you know, their lead sentence is, "This is confusing because you hit cross-country ski trails once you hit Hall's Ledge."
Wait, but it comes from the other side.
Their
Route
description
16.
does, but it
Yeah.
has the, it has
Oh,
the,
the mileages.
yeah, it says
Oh,
hike blank
okay.
miles from Route 16 to Hall's Ledge,
Well, then I
hike
can just
blank
fill it
miles,
in.
yeah.
In the reverse.
Yep. Or we can turn the kilometers into miles from ski touring.
I know that there's a sign and an arrow right
both.
near where you park, but this sentence might be confusing for people. It says the Hall's Ledge Trail leaves the parking lot by climbing past the gate near the kiosk on an old logging road.
Mhm.
I can see people getting out of their cars, seeing the gate, seeing that's a logging road,
Yeah.
and walking that way. And I know that there's a sign there that has an arrow pointed the other way.
It's hard to see that
But
sign.
it's-
My thought was the kiosk, that maybe they would
Yeah.
notice the kiosk when they pulled in, and then they would try to go to that gate instead.
What if it
But-
said something like follow, like return on the road, or follow the road to the second gate, or, you know, to the first gate, or something like that?
Yeah,
If it said something like that, it just might be slightly more like return, you know, turn around and walk back towards the first gate,
yeah.
or something like that.
I mean, also,
Exclamation point.
by the time that this is printed, hopefully, well, in the spring, we will have signs that say Hall's Ledge the entire way.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like-
Because right now, I mean,
Those
I know
signs-
there's one on
So
the
then-
trail sign for Bog Brook, and then there's one
at the.
I think it's really hard to see. I think unless you knew to turn around and look behind you on that tree, you're not gonna see
Yeah.
that sign.
I mean, I think if you just put something as
I
simple as
think-
like return to the first gate or turn around.
I think we can clip out around that sign. And I think if you park your car and walk to a trail sign that points you to the right and you turn, theoretically you'll see the sign straight ahead of you. And then if not, you're at the kiosk. And I think we could change some of the labels on our kiosk map easily with a like printer, little like printer
Yeah.
thing. Because that, I was looking at our kiosk map and it doesn't have both names on the things that both have a hiking trail name and a ski trail name. So we could make sure that it says, because we also, when we printed that, used the names of the logging roads,
Mhm.
which we never do in practice.
Yeah.
So I think we could write over the logging road name and just be like, this is the Wildcat Valley Ski Trail,
Mm.
and it is also the Halls Ledge hiking
Mhm.
trail. And the signs that we have decided to have made will label Halls Ledge Trail all the way up and around the corner. So I think we could say like, follow the signs for the Halls Ledge hiking trail. In addition, the hiking trail runs concurrently with ski trails, and then use what you put down too, for like a double, to be double sure.
Mhm.
You could put this Halls Ledge Trail starts behind you.
Yeah,
Something like that.
okay.
Just so, because there is that gate there. And I can see people getting confused. I get confused all the time. I'm confused all the time.
All right, so we will all send any thoughts we have to Margaret
Okay.
on these things.
Well, and if the signs are up, we would just say follow the logging road uphill.
Yes. But I think it's valuable to have both, say in the directions, both follow the signs for the Halls Ledge hiking trail and give the ski trail.
Mhm.
Like, more information generally is.
Do you think it helps to have the references on the cellar hole site, the references? Is that gonna go on the sign?
Oh.
Is that what you're saying?
George sent it to me with those, so I don't
I don't
know if
think
we
that-
necessarily need to put them on the sign.
I don't think so. I mean, how many people are gonna say, that's interesting, I'm gonna go find this, you know?
Yeah, no, that, we need to keep that off, this
Yeah.
will save on printing costs.
Yeah, I don't,
Okay, so send me your
Oh.
ideas for the Halls Ledge description and the Prospect Farm interpretive signs.
Okay, thanks for doing this.
yeah,
It
super.
makes it a lot easier to have something to work on.
You're welcome. And did you pass the thing around yet? Yeah, if there's any other ones in that Chamber of Commerce
Is that the
brochure,
seedling brochure?
they have
Oh,
one
no,
for
no,
the
that's the
Mystery
trails.
House loop
Yeah.
as well. I mean, like, we can revise additional ones if we want to.
You got this down at the Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah.
I'll go down and pick a copy.
Well, I called and I assume they have it there, but she
Yeah.
emailed it to me. I know, I just printed it tiny.
Well, I guess the three things of immediate interest to us are, let's see, well, I'll read out loud. Their walks are the 16A Village Loop, Carter Notch Road, but also Jackson Falls.
The Jackson Falls one is actually twice, like, it says the same thing twice in that one paragraph, which maybe I would just let
Point
them know
out.
that, if they are not aware of it.
We could, so it basically,
But there's two paragraphs and one,
I won't read it
Yeah.
out loud, but yeah, there's
They
one
repeat the
paragraph.
same, it's like, the falls cascade down to the rocks for sunbathing, la la la, the falls cascade down to the rocks for sunbathing. It's literally the exact same thing.
I think we could add, I think it would be good to add that you can access the falls from the bottom also,
Okay,
in our attempt to spread out use.
from the lower parking lot?
Yes.
Mhm.
yeah. In fact, you could even pump it up a little bit by saying, you know, there's good views, a good perspective can be
Yeah,
had by,
yeah, and we can make an effort in the spring to go out and snip it back again and, make, because
You
it's,
said people couldn't access it from the parking lot above the old town,
I know.
above town hall.
yeah.
if you're up for rock hopping, you could, I guess.
It's, yeah.
but basically, I think the clues to get there are go to the Wentworth, follow the little hands. There's a hand
Mhm.
that says public access by the snow roller, and then you go up to the millstone,
Yeah.
and then you're there.
But it's funny because you can't get from that low part all the way up.
Yeah,
But you can.
You know?
You can.
Well,
yeah, you can't,
family.
yes.
if you got a machete and,
Yeah.
You can.
Actually, one of the meetings.
It goes from the top all the way to the bottom, goes back up again.
One of the times we met, I think it was with the road agent and Bob Thompson this fall. I had to come down to drop off probably my car registration, and I came down the falls like the whole way from the upper falls to the lower falls and fell in.
The
So the-
Mystery House Loop would too.
Yeah, so the Halls Lodge one, you've got the new one, and the Mystery House one. Where is that? Did I just go by it?
Yeah, it's on
Oh,
the
yeah.
first page. Thanks, man.
Yeah, the Mystery House one seems all right. I don't know that we have signs where it says we have signs.
I'm just putting that in parentheses, kind of like, let's not get carried away.
I think it's magnificent.
Well, let's not get carried away here.
That one
It's
seems
nice.
I would say the Mystery House one is fine.
Okay, so
As
just
is-
add
as is.
falls and then send me your changes to the Halls Lodge.
Yep.
Okay,
All
great.
right. Anything else for Prospect Farm?
Thank you for rewriting these directions. It's good.
All right. On to the annual report. Margaret also wrote up an annual report for us.
yeah, I saw that.
So, yep.
Oh, you read it already?
Yeah.
All right, I haven't read it.
Yeah, she sent it out in an email.
All right.
Already got it.
So I guess this would be a great time to get the final comments, and then we can just send it off.
It's due, yeah, it's due on the 18th, so I told Julia I'd have it for the next couple days.
It's funny when you look at your brain automatically corrects it.
I don't know if this matters or not, but it says that we had the greatest volunteer turnout ever. I mean, we put something like in recent memory or in the past couple of years or.
In my
Since records have been kept.
Since we been keeping records in 2016. I don't know if that matters.
Yeah, you could say we had a fantastic turnout, or
I like in recent memory.
the greatest volunteer turnout in
Ever,
recent memory.
ever, exclamation point.
Volunteer
Here's
turnout.
We had the 100-year
in recent
turnout.
memory At our spring works.
Or we just put ever in capital letters. Just going there. See if anyone questions us.
Possibly on the easement monitoring, maybe we could mention the number of them that we
that's a
currently
good idea.
hold, you know, like the 7 or the 10, or I don't, 6 or.
Oh, and that we also, isn't it new this year that we compiled a list and we made sure we double checked addresses and we,
Sent out the letter.
sent out letters, and we did more stuff, right? I feel like we did it more officially than we ever have before. And we made a spreadsheet, right? So we compiled a list of existing easements.
I don't think they're looking for that kind of detail in the annual report, though.
Well, I just want to make sure we can do stuff.
Pass the papers around.
Trying to make it look like we did a little more.
I rubbed the table really hard during our meetings.
It's 5. So we completed our annual monitoring of 5 Jackson properties with conservation easements.
We compile a list of the existing 5 town properties under conservation easement.
And restructured our protocol.
Well, no, in which the town holds the conservation easement. There are more than 5 properties in Jackson
Yeah.
which are under conservation easement.
Yes, I said the town
But they're,
easements.
in which the town, yes, in which the town holds the easement. I thought you said town properties, not town easement.
I did.
They're private properties in which the town owns the easement.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we're not monitoring ourselves.
List of the existing properties under town easement. Yes?
Yeah, I don't know, is that, I would say in which the town holds or
The
owns?
town holds the easement?
Yeah,
The 5 properties held under town easement? No.
In which the town holds the conservation easement.
We're getting wordy over here.
Which town? I can,
We don't anyone to think.
the
that we're like-
easement's exclamation point. I'm gonna write that a little bit.
And I would say, so then we completed the monitoring,
and we sent letters to them.
yes.
We
did-
restructured notification protocol for all.
Ooh,
And I don't know quite how to say it, but we didn't,
should we, should we say something about an easement monitoring as required by the state?
it's, well,
It is a,
it's not required by the state. It's required by us. I mean, like, it's our responsibility
I thought,
as,
wasn't there a state
Is
mandate
it the
to?
RSA? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought there was an, it was in
I don't know if there is.
RSA somewhere, maybe not.
We,
I would just change I would like to change the language,
Yeah.
because it makes it seem like there's additional ones
Yes,
for the Spiniff ones, and they're not. It's just that we have to report to Spiniff on 4 out of the 5, which we own the easement.
Okay.
They're not additional or separate or different.
well, that makes it sound like we did more than the way she wrote it.
Um,
For
And
some of them, we, you know, like you said, the town is the, you know, the direct holder of the conservation easement as opposed to being the executory interest, which is why Spinoff's involved.
Well, we own all 5 of them. We directly own, and then Spiniff is the
Oh, Spinoff is the
executory
okay,
interest
yeah, you're
in
right,
4 of
sorry.
them.
Yeah.
So we're required by the terms of the deed to do the annual monitoring.
Is the executor?
Executor. Yeah.
Back up.
Okay.
You know, it'd be nice, I don't know if we can do it or have time to do it, but it'd be nice to put down the amount of volunteer hours. Like, they should, you know, the commission, you know, put
Mm.
together X amount of volunteer hours in maintaining the beauty of your town, or something like that, our town. And then we could probably just count up all the meetings, count up the field sessions, and then multiply it by everybody here, and then throw in a couple of volunteer people, but, right, gotta make a couple.
It's a good
Let's say
idea.
it's 18 hours worth of meetings, and then at least 3 2-hour work sessions, right?
Yeah,
Were there only 3? I thought there were more than that.
And some are longer than 2 hours.
I want to say there was like a spring, summer, and a fall.
Yeah, and then they were longer than 2 hours.
so call it maybe each one 3 hours, so call it
Yeah.
10 hours.
And then,
I mean, but then there's also time, like, I mean, you would go up there and, you know,
On
so
your
there's,
own,
on
yeah.
your own.
Retire twine.
Yeah, I would say
Pick up
we've had
trash.
at least 11 miles of twine replaced up there.
And pick up trash.
Yeah, 11
That's what they
miles.
put that in.
11 miles of twine.
Yeah, that's an estimate. I
Do you
couldn't
want
do
to
the
see my
math,
roll?
but
I was thinking in the first paragraph, instead of calling it twine on posts, we could call them twine fences to help lead towards our
Yeah.
new
Tom,
fences.
very tricksy, very tricksy. Twine fences. I like it.
And this is just my style, but I would put a period, get rid of the and, put a capital W, and then we spread another load of wood chips
Okay,
to cover exposed tree roots and continue defining the walking paths.
okay.
It's kind of the same.
All right, so with the work sessions and the time, it's 28 hours, but that's like per person.
Yeah, so multiply that by whatever, 6,
By
Whatever,
the,
six.
the 8 of us. There are 8 of us?
2, 4, 6, 7. And then you gotta throw in like
Some volunteer.
some volunteer time.
Yeah.
Like George Howard's time and the people that showed up for those cleanup days.
30 times 7 is 200.
There's 8 of us.
8 of us are showing this.
Brian,
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wait, missing someone says, Brian?
oh, okay.
Plus, I mean, because I don't know how many volunteers came to each meeting, unless I literally go back through. all
Well,
the minutes.
you don't need to get
We
that.
could
Count
we
it
could
up,
ballpark
but-
it. But say, I mean, there was at least what, like,
At least like.
We know it was the most ever.
3 volunteers
say there's 3 or
per
4
meeting, so
volunteers.
at least like 30 more.
Yeah.
Okay,
Most-
so we'll say roughly 250?
Yeah, I'd say 250.
Well, plus you got the monitoring of the, not the monitoring, but the the easements monitoring, and you've got the wetlands permits, takes not a lot of time, but a few hours.
Okay, we'll just
But
call
the
it
easement,
300.
the easement walking is,
Yeah. Yeah,
you walk that,
Where would you put that in there?
I would put it in at the end. Well, maybe not. No, because it's maybe
Not
not
after
after the,
Larry.
yeah. I'd start at the beginning then.
Okay. Maybe just an intro.
Yeah.
yeah,
Build ourselves up a little bit,
Yeah. 300 hours
at least.
at least.
I mean, like,
No
with
less
all the,
than.
like, visits to ski touring and writing stuff, yeah. It's a good point.
I can ask, one thing I was noticing in the Jackson Falls section is whether, I don't know, do we just say road agent and our select board representative? Like, do we name them by name?
No.
Does it matter?
no, I don't think you need that.
It might matter to them.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, because I know Bob for a while, I've been encouraging us not to use names.
Is that right?
It's, you normally wouldn't put
Encouraging us
names
not
in
to use
there.
names because
Just to be like, we would like to ask the road agent to do this. We have
Yeah.
spoken to the select,
Yeah,
our
exactly.
select board representative.
Yeah, that's the way you should do it, you shouldn't use names.
I'm sorry, I missed what you were saying.
They want us to be person neutral. In other words,
Oh, so
just-
not put
just
Pat
stick
and
to-
Bob in?
Right.
Just
right,
say road agent.
Road
And
agent,
Why?
And the select board representative.
because it's an annual report, that's the way you write them.
Why? I don't understand to not have people be.
We'll give them aliases. We can put Cat
Pelly.
Cat Pelly and Tom Bumpson.
That's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
Bob No Socks
I mean, like,
Thompson.
should they not get acknowledged for who they
What-
are and what they're doing? And anyone's gonna watch the minutes right now and see that that's who it was.
Well, I guess they'll know. if
Seems
they
like a
do.
weird formality.
Also, I
but
think
okay.
everyone knows who the road agent is.
Yeah.
And like
It's a
our select
neutral
board
thing.
representative.
Yeah, it's neutral, it's,
So our selectmen confirm the.
And our
term.
selectmen representative.
Our
or select
selectmen
board,
repres-
Or whatever they're
Select-
collectively referred to as.
Got it.
And Cat Pelly.
Yeah.
Conservation Commission.
Ally.
Liaison, I don't know.
soon to be in cabinet.
Okay, anything else?
I was trying to maybe reword the last sentence where lastly, we began working on the split rail fence proposal, but be like, the selectmen have approved our idea of a split rail fence and we are slowly working towards like installing it in 2017. Just to drive home the point that it has been approved.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even need to say slowly,
I can
just
see
say
it.
we'll proceed
I don't know
in
how much we want to say, because
2017.
this could bring people out and go, what, our fence?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you don't wanna,
You can see the room filling up again.
yeah, exactly.
It's been a very long time
People-
since anyone's come.
I mean, you can put something like additional measures for erosion control have been approved and we'll continue those efforts in
Oh.
2017.
You're good.
That's like real.
That's,
Yes, do you guys want that instead of the fence?
yeah, that's good.
I'm fine either way. I mean, like, we're putting a fence there.
Erosion.
So, like, I don't
Erosion.
want
I'd rather have it be a done deal.
Yeah, exactly. Erosion and traffic control.
one and the same.
Not exactly springing it on everyone, you know what I mean? It's been, you know, there's a lot of
We
discussion.
had our twine fences there for
Sure.
a while. They've just kind of grown up.
So
30
we're not
years.
mentioning the fence at all.
I'd be fine. if we
Additional
call it-
erosion control measures.
And traffic control.
I think it's fine if we call it a fence.
Mitigation is a good word.
Ooh,
Yeah. Okay.
she's the literate one, that's why she takes the,
Reminds me of-
you're the literate one, that's why you're.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna laugh about Cat Pelly and Dog Fountain for a while. That's gonna go the whole way over.
I like the name Cobb.
Anybody have any other comments on annual reports?
Is everyone okay with what I wrote about Larry?
Yep,
The only thing I might take out is
Yep.
where it says we'd like to do something. We
Yep.
could just say we would like to
Honor.
his,
Okay.
okay.
That's good.
his dedication, and they're open to any suggestions.
Would it, well, maybe it doesn't matter. He did a lot of stuff other than the conservation mission, would matter, but he was an enthusiastic member of the conservation mission, like in different boards or, you know, like just
Yeah.
a member of the community at large. I don't know if that matters or not, but.
Well,
No.
this is the Conservation Commission's annual report.
Well, I
though,
tried
so-
to, I tried to hint at that with the town initiatives, if we worked on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Besides, or I could say all town initiatives. Or many.
No, it's okay. I guess it is the conservation commission.
And then back to the grammar, please. And the Conservation Commission is open to any suggestions, or are?
I think it is.
I would go with
Yes.
is.
Is.
Okay, so we're going with the majority rule.
Okay.
We're not
Maybe-
necessarily right.
And maybe just that second paragraph in the other news, or second sentence in the news, maybe making that 2 sentences. It just seemed like he was an enthusiastic member of the Conservation Commission, a wonderful man, period.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
We will forever remember his tireless efforts.
Well, you're not gonna live forever, so that's plus.
Enter the bench.
So we are grateful. We are grateful for his tireless efforts and town initiatives.
I think that's a little better myself,
We are grateful for his tireless efforts on town initiatives.
yeah.
Okay. I will rewrite this and email it out to everybody in the next couple days, so you can read through it one more time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any other news for the Conservation Commission?
When do you think you're gonna have the letter finalized for the trustees?
Hopefully tonight,
Okay,
since we don't have any comments on it besides what I wrote down, which was grammar. And Margaret's gonna give me the grammar,
clean
please.
that up.
Yes.
Just don't let her put an
And-
exclamation points in it.
This is a really nice thing that they put together.
It is a nice thing. Right. Anyone wanna motion to
Did you have
adjourn?
anything about Gray's Inn?
I did not have anything about Gray's
Okay,
Inn.
good. I make
Never,
a motion
ever.
to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that
All in
motion.
favor?
Aye.
Thanks for taking
Way to
minutes.
go.
Thanks for filming us.
Is your daughter?
Gray's Inn is dead doll on us now. I don't know when last time we talked about it. Let me
I
see.
think that's all though.